Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, and welcome to 10 Commandments for This One's Wife. You've heard the premise, and now I'm going to confer the power of commandment on my guest, who today is Trevor Coult, MC. Welcome, Trevor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on this illustrious platform of yours.
You're most welcome. Now, you're granted the power of commandment with regard to this one's wife. You have the power to compel, to injunct, to improve or restrain. How will Trevor wield the power of commandment over this one's wife? Well, we're going to begin as I invite Trevor to furnish me with his first commandment.
Well, it's quite a lot of power, if I'm honest, to behold. And I've struggled over the last few days to make sure that I have this down so that it doesn't just affect me, but I want to make the world a happier place. So I've decided that one of my first commandment will be that thou shalt not grift.
Okay. Well, that's going to hit her hard, telling her that she can't grift. Let's tweak that. Let's nail it down to what would you define as her grifting behavior? What does that encompass?
Well, thou shalt not grift would encompass the use of a title bestowed upon an individual that doesn't now necessarily need it. So if you're going to go out and try and make your own money in the world, then you do it under your own name and not under the Duke or Duchess title. So thou shalt not grift is that. Removing titles is my first commandment.
Okay, well, or is it the case she can keep the title, but she just can't monetize it?
No, because the title is something that she needs.
So you actually want to get rid of it. So in actual fact, your first commandment is you shall not use your title ever again.
Yes, but I used the word grift in there because the grift is part of the title ship, should I say? So yeah. So, but yes, you're spot on. That would be my first commandment.
Okay, so it's, you are no longer allowed the use of your title, which will of course prevent the grift thereafter because she can't monetize it, having had it removed. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of people cheering that as a commandment that's issued towards her, that she can't use the title ever again.
I hope so, because I did a poll on this, and this is what the people want. And the people deserve to be heard.
Yeah, well, it is something that many people want to see her and him lose because they don't actually do anything to deserve the title. So an entirely apt first commandment for her. What's your second one?
Well, the second one, I've sort of used a broad brush because I believe I was going down to be too personal. I think I go back into it in a minute. My second one was about using their celebrity status to promote or project foundations and charities, to take that away from them.
Okay. Now, ordinarily, the whole point of involving somebody who's famous is to bring added exposure to, Billy's Banana Fund or whatever it is that you've created. Okay.
Yep.
So you decide you'll rope in, be it the centre forward who's semi-professional for the local non-league side or going as high up as a member of royalty. Mm-hmm. But here you're deciding, no, you're not going to be allowed to use celebrity status for the purposes of a foundation or a charity project. What is it that offends you about their use of celebrity status to promote those things?
Well, first of all, I would like to point out that other people, good citizens, set up charities and foundations, and I do believe that celebrities can be brought in to be patrons and ambassadors, so that's still open to them.
Yeah.
But I don't believe grifters should be allowed to set up their own foundation and pretend to have their own charity. I mean, that's why I wanted to make that one of my commandments, to sort of remove them setting up things to promote themselves. I mean, they can be an ambassador for Help for Heroes.
Yeah,
or
I understand.
Yeah, but doing something themselves, I mean.
So in effect, the charitable foundation that exists would have to be in place, and that foundation could say to them, we'd like you to promote our ideals. Will you come and open the village fete kind of thing? But they are not allowed to establish, or she is not allowed to establish a foundation or charity project because she just uses it for self-promotion.
That's my point, and that's why that's commandment number 2.
Makes absolute sense and is entirely apt, because everything she does is for her own self-serving purposes and is nothing whatsoever to do with actually wanting to help people. That just happens to be a collateral consequence if any help actually does occur. Okay, so far titles are being removed, so there's no grifting off the back of that, and she can't use charitable foundations or charity projects for the grift of self-promotion.
Yes.
Where are we going to go then with the third?
Well, the third one's going to be a little bit. The third one's going to be a little bit hard hitting because it's her favorite color. But the wearing of red is to be forbidden unless it's in front of bulls.
Okay, so aren't bulls actually colorblind though?
Red, well, matadors use red to wind them up, don't they?
Yeah, but I think that it's the movement that winds them up rather than the color. I think that's just.
Well then,
I just think red looks more dramatic, doesn't it?
Well,
anyway,
we could change that to she's the only one allowed to move in front of bulls. Would that be better?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll let you combine it. So the idea is that she can't wear red, and once a month she has to go and stand near a bull and do a jig.
That's it. That's perfect. Yeah.
So if she's not wearing red, that means that she's going to lose out on overripe burst tomato lady dress, aka desiccated chili dress. That's gone. But
it's her favorite color.
Is she a closet Manchester United or Liverpool fan?
No, I think she's a red rag to a bull, isn't she? Everything she does just gets people irritated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to take that away from her. Yeah, I'm not taking away money. I'm just taking away the red.
The red. I'm given to believe that when it comes in the spicy poontang steaks, that she prefers the red lingerie for Harry.
Oh.
So that would also present a problem. She would probably shift to virginal white because she probably still believes that she is a virgin in her own deluded mind. So, but you wanted red out of the way because you think that's her favourite colour, do you? Not beige.
No. I think you mean bland. But let's just stick with red because she's always in red dresses on carpets. A red carpet, red dress.
Yeah.
Let's just ban her from red.
Would that also include she can't wear red lipstick?
No, she'll need that for the yachts. No, I don't know where that came from. Intrusive thoughts come through my head. But let's just ban her from red completely, and didn't she wear any color? Okay,
so third commandment, she is not to wear red.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the fourth one. What's that?
Well, the fourth one I've written that racial profiling. Racial profiling, punishable with 10 years jail. To use racial slurs to grift off, which we've seen in the past, will be a punishable of 10 years in jail.
Okay, so you're expecting that a punishment will deter her, but you're not essentially outlawing her from doing it. She can do it, but there will be a punishment associated with it.
Oh, I haven't banned it completely. I've just made it a commandment so that.
Okay, so and when you say racial profiling, what do you mean?
Well, I've got two eyes. I can see what I see, but what I don't see is a black woman. Like, I'm a black woman. I need to be this. I'm a white woman. I'm half caste. I'm this. I don't think anyone should be allowed to use racial profiling too. I mean, for a single person to fit into so many different ethnic groups is unheard of. You're either one or the other. You can't opt in and can't opt out. You can't. I mean.
Oh, I see. So it's really more to do with playing the race card.
Yes, racial. But that's why I said racial profiling, punishable with jail. And she started this stuff, and I think that there needs to be laws put in place to stop this. And one of the commandments, a bit like an American amendment, American Amendment number 21. We'll throw it in everywhere. It should be world renowned. This thing.
Okay, so she can't use race as an excuse. She can't use race to engender sympathy. She can't use race to suggest that that's why people dislike her. She's basically got to shut up about using race. Otherwise, 10 years in chokey.
Oh yeah, 100%. 10 years without parole.
Okay.
I just threw that in.
Yeah, well, it's, 10 years means 10 years. There's no there's no getting out after a shorter period of time for her. Okay,
Yeah.
what's commandment number 5, Trevor?
Well, number 5, I've got down lying for personal gain. Again, punishable by 5 years jail minimum. Lying for personal gain. It's going to be one of my commandments. Shouldn't be allowed to do it.
She's going to spend a lot of time in prison then, isn't she?
I know, and the world will be better for it, though. I am trying to help. I'm trying to help society.
Yeah, because
we
in essence, every lie she tells provides her with some form of personal gain. Because if we look at it on the strictest of analyses, she will lie, for instance, to make it seem like someone has said something about her which was not true for the purposes of eliciting sympathy. So that's a gain for her. She might lie about what she's done in the past to make herself sound more interesting for the purposes of an interview, which again is a gain for her. And given the fact that naturally, as a narcissist, much of her lies are her own truth, she can't help but keep on lying, because it's not to make excuses for her, but that's the way that she is essentially designed. So I mean, essentially, by the time she's woken up, she's got 25 years in chokey straight away.
Exactly. Yes.
She'll wake up and she'll undoubtedly, if Harry's there, say, "Gosh, you look lovely this morning, Harry," and we all know that Harry, he looked like a bag of hammers first thing in the morning, won't he? And then, and then she'll say, "I love you," but we know that's a blatant lie, and she's just doing that to make him go and bring in the latte or something like that. Then she'll ask, "Oh, where are the children all right?" And that's a lie, because she doesn't give a shit.
You're starting to sort of move on to my commandments here. Let's stop.
Okay.
So that's
I'm not so good with boundary recognition. You might have noticed. So. My psychologist said it's one of my flaws. But,
hold on. You've got a psychologist?
Oh yeah, I've seen a psychologist for years.
I've got a psychiatrist, and you've got a psychologist.
Yeah.
What a team.
Yeah, well, indeed. But that's something we can talk about that on another occasion, because that's going to be that'll be ultra vires of today. So okay, so the lies will be punishable, but so with the personal gain, we're construing that pretty widely. Any advantage it confers on her.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We just if she's making profit or making money from lies, then prison. Yeah.
What offends you so much about her telling lies, Trevor?
Honestly, I think it's more to do with the lies she told on Oprah. It just bugged the life out of me. I can never forgive her. So I mean, even Harry sat there on the sofa. Let's be honest, he's a bit of a retard himself, but even he sat there and he went, "Oh, didn't know that."
Yeah.
And then the fake pretend curtsy and the constant lies, and I don't know what else you want from. What do you want from me? The fact that they put expenses in for 5-star hotels, helicopter, food, restaurants, clothing, off Invictus Games, off disabled athletes. I mean, the list is just endless.
Yeah.
HG.
Yeah. Well, she is an habitual liar.
Yeah.
She is a purveyor of the porky pie.
100%.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's our first 5. So warming up nicely here. What's our
they
sixth?
Get better.
Yeah. What's our 6th commandment?
My sixth commandment would be the banning of the usage of the word Diana.
Okay, so just can't utter the word Diana.
Can't use it in a sentence. Can't use it to talk about. Can't use it for picking up mimes. Can't use it for going to help children. You can't use it on a stage to promote yourself. You can't use it at all. And if you do, jail.
So no more channeling the spirit of Diana.
Yeah. I mean,
she won't be able to call out her child's middle name.
100%. And you know what? These 10 commandments take me back to my country, Utopia, where she would have been thrown out of a helicopter.
Yeah, exactly. What was it? The chimpanzees would have got her.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. They would have come along and seen to her. So she can't say Diana. What's the issue with her saying Diana? Why is that such a problem?
Right. The issue with using the belated Princess Diana is the fact that it's never used now for good. It's only used to promote other people's agendas, which I've seen, and we've all seen it. So I don't like how, whether you like Princess Diana or not, let the lady rest in peace. Let her rest in peace. She's had her time. Let her go.
Mm-hmm.
Stop bringing her back whenever you're trying to promote yourself to try and gain the sympathy vote. And that's why I don't like it. I have nothing against Princess Diana herself. I really don't. She was good at what she did in the past, but let her rest in peace.
Is this, Trevor, more born out of an affection for Diana, Princess of Wales, or is it more out of your disgust for her repeated use of that name?
It's certainly not out of respect for Diana. It's just out of disgust. It's just out of disgust for using a lady that, you know, doesn't deserve to be used that way. I mean, it'd be nice if the kids sat around, you know, and they're being taught about their grandmother and stuff, but they're not. Because the kids are never around, really, and it's just always done on a stage, and it's always done for self. It's always done for self-promotion, and it comes across as self-promotion anyway. I don't even. You know what? I honestly believe that they don't know. She doesn't know the difference anymore. She's had this false persona for so long now that this persona has become reality, and she believes her own shit. If that makes sense. So
yeah.
It's quite sad, but yeah, I think that Lady Diana deserves to be left in peace. I mean, she's been dragged across the coals and motorways, but she just needs left alone, I think.
So this would mean it would also prohibit her from asking for Diana nachos or Diana air rifles and Diana cameras, all products associated with, even if they're nothing to do with the late Princess of Wales.
No, I mean, if it keeps going the way it's going, we're going to end up with Diana car air fresheners. Jesus.
What would that smell
of? Carnage, probably. Hopefully strawberries, something nice.
Strawberries, yeah. Okay, so she's banned from issuing the word Diana. I suppose she'll just have to, when she's trying to give a come hither look to Harry, to engage in some spicy poontang with him by cosplaying his late mother. She'll have to mime being Diana rather than saying I'm Diana.
100%. Yeah, I know. Oh God, you just put an image in my head. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's as Sean Locke once said, that'll be a challenging wank. So.
Yes, he did. Yes. Oh, the great Sean Locke. Yeah. What a shame.
Indeed. Okay, so that's 6 down, 4 to go. What's number 7?
Oh, this is one that could hit home in different ways here. It depends how people look at this. This commandment would be, it would be illegal for them to use royal or government assets to go and fulfill their agendas.
Okay. So give me an example of one of their agendas.
One of their agendas right now is by using Archwell as a front to give out grants and to give out funding to companies that go around trying to remove people that are giving out misinformation and disinformation to make the internet safe for children. When in reality, this misinformation and disinformation that companies are being given grants for are actually just going around trying to silence their critics.
Do you see Archwell as a royal asset?
No.
A government asset?
No, but they have connections. We both know that Harry and Meghan, no doubt, still have connections, which from the UK government, we know that Biden administration is helping them out to do with the visa. But if we think that Harry hasn't got any assets, whether it's in 7-7 Brigade with Tobias Ellwood or Johnny Mercer, or they haven't got assets in the UK government, or still got aides within the royal household, then we would be naive to think that they don't have that anymore. And I think it would be a commandment to make it illegal for them to have any of those assets at their disposal, which I believe they do have.
So they wouldn't be allowed to utilize any of those particular assets for the pursuit of their personal agendas, which would be, for instance, smearing Prince and Princess of Wales, or going after certain YouTubers, for instance.
100%. If you cut off their assets, which they say they haven't got any, which we know they probably do, I would make a commandment that they weren't able to use assets which are connected to the crown, which they have walked away from. I would nail that down.
Who are you going to put in charge of policing that particular commandment? Are you going to do it? Are you going to establish a task force? No.
You're going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Okay, you're delegating it to me. Okay, no problem. I'll add it to the list.
You've got connections. We all know you're bound to know someone that can stop things. So yeah.
Oh, I'm simply an ice cream man who delivers in high conflict areas.
And that's what assassins always say, HG.
Well, you can think that if you wish. Okay. Let's move on to number 8. What's number 8?
Oh, this one's going to hit home. Right. My 8th commandment is quite simple and probably the toughest one. Parents leaving children with nannies constantly will have them removed and placed in care.
Okay, but that's specific to them, not people as a whole.
Oh, no, it's specific to them. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has to be a commandment for this one's wife. So if she repeatedly leaves Archie and or Lilibet being looked after by nannies, the children will be whisked away and placed in the Trevor Coult creche of caring instead.
100%, and they'll be looked after.
Yeah. Now let's screw this down. What's the threshold for being seen as repeatedly leaving their children? Is it a case of if she does it more than 5 times, no matter what the duration, or is it a case you could do it lots of times as long as it's just a day? What's your threshold?
I've based the threshold, believe it or not, on ordinary families. Where if an ordinary family, this is how they're above the law. If I was to go away and leave my son with, say, a paid nanny, and I went away for 2 weeks, then came back, and then went away again for another week and came back, and then I decided to sit with my son for 4 days and then go away again for another 2 weeks. I can tell you now, the child services would remove him from my care.
Really?
Yes, they would. So so
how would that work then? By that reasoning, somebody who's sent to boarding school that stays there after 6 weeks, somebody should come along and say, no, we're taking you into care.
No, because what happens at boarding school, I think this is that parents, if the child are underage, parents sign forms and documentation, and they're placed into care with.
Oh, they're effectively adults. Handing over the care to somebody else.
Yeah. Whereas.
Well, isn't that what you're doing with the nanny?
Well, the nanny also goes back and writes reports on you as a parent. I mean, a nanny has a duty of care to look after the child as well. So if a nanny was to go and write a report on parenting, that report would sit really well with child services, and the children could very, very well be removed from you for lack of parenting. So I've just based it on reality, but I've put it on someone who loves their children and doesn't really spend much time with them. So I've just done that.
It is quite evident that not a lot of time is spent with the children.
I wouldn't have said that, is she? But I care so much about the children.
Someone once said, "I believe that children are the future. Treat them well and let them lead the way." Wise words, I think.
Yes, was that Michael Jackson?
I think it's Whitney Houston, wasn't it?
Oh, was that okay? Sorry.
I was going to try and dress it up and say it was the words of Confucius or something like that.
I knew it was a pop star, though.
You did, absolutely. So, okay. I regularly trot that out at dinner parties to see if I can get a reaction when people are talking about children, because I don't have any. And I'll say, I believe that children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. And there'll always be some prat who go, Yeah, I agree too. I think for fuck's sake, that's just a song lyric I've given you, but they didn't pick up on
it. you must have some really well-educated dinner parties.
Well, that was just the help that I lured in.
All right, okay.
No, believe me. Unfortunately, I have the misfortune from time to time to attend dinner parties with some real chinless wonders, but at least it provides some sport. So
exactly. Yeah. Every room needs one of those individuals.
Yeah. They're the type of individual that you know when you have like a barbecue and you've got that two-pronged fork that you pick up your sausages with. They're always a little bit tubby as well, so I always feel like I want to sort of just stick that fork in them and make them flush a really sort of bright pink figure. Not to make them bleed, just enough that you prod the skin that it's uncomfortable for them, but they're not allowed to get out of their seat because they're actually wedged into it because they're so rotund. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm going down one of my avenues here, sharing. Okay, so repeated leaving of the children amounts to neglect, and they'll be taken into care.
Yes. Right. Yes.
Again, is that you are concerned for those children, or is it simply a case that you don't, you really don't approve of the way that she carries on in relation to them?
Oh, I really care about the children. They're the future, SG.
I believe so. Teach them well. Let them lead the way.
Exactly. Yes.
Maybe we should establish a place of higher education together. We could call it the Tudor Coult College, and our mantra could be "Children of the Future."
That would be an alternative to the Jordan Peterson University, wouldn't it?
Well, it would. Well, there wouldn't be any crying.
No.
Jordan Peterson, you have to cry each day to let out that side of you, because he likes to cry. Jordan. He likes.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine if there was the Jordan Peterson Community College going up against the Andrew Tate School for the Gifted? That would be an entertaining match, wouldn't it?
It would be. I know men would be stronger on the left side of the road and weak on the right.
Yeah, it would be. It would be entertaining to see what would happen there. I suspect most of the Tate team would be under house arrest and wouldn't be able to make the match. So
yeah,
there is that. Anyway. Okay, so that's dealing with looking after the children, which I'm sure many people will see as a noble aspiration and an appropriate commandment. What's your 9th commandment, please?
Well, the 9th one I've written down here, but I am going to reword it as I tell you. This is to do with documentation. Mm-hmm. For instance, and I've used this in a way. I've used this because of the visa controversy. Yep. So I think all documentation should be privy to. One of the commandments should be all. In fact, make it celebrities. Make it celebrities, but I have to use Meghan. All Meghan and Harry's documentation should be available on a public website because it's a public interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, and then there'll be no controversy of did he say this or did he say that? What did he put in? What did they write? And then put it all out there. Yeah.
That would certainly answer some questions.
It would, but I'd only do it for them. Other people can hide the documentation because.
I mean, these are the commandments strictly for her, not for him. So.
Oh, okay then. She would be compelled to tell us if she was a. She would be compelled to tell us if she was a yacht girl or not.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's again one of the key questions I think that many people would like answered.
I just seen tumbleweeds go past the room there as I said that.
Oh no, I think that's a very valid commandment. When I thought about this as a concept, I thought to myself, I'm fairly certain there are certain things that will crop up again and again and again with regard to people's commandments for her, such as, were you a yacht girl, yes or no? You must answer that.
Yeah.
And interestingly, at the point of this discussion, I've done a few of these already, That hasn't cropped up as a question yet. So, or rather as a commandment. So, but I did think it would be one. So I'm pleased that you've brought that forward as a suggested commandment to say that she has to address that point. Because that's something that many people want to know. So it seems to me to be entirely valid to say to her, were you along the lines of what were you doing as a yacht girl?
I know I'm laughing because I've just changed my last commandment, and I don't mean to, but I just have.
No, that's fine. You're allowed to. It's a flexible approach. So she's going to be issued with that commandment that she has to tell us the truth about whether she engaged in some yacht girl.
Yes.
And the power is that she will answer truthfully. We don't need to have any kind of lie detector or anything.
Exactly.
Like that. It's a magical power that compels the issuing of the majority truth that she has to issue. So if she was a yacht girl, then she will have to say that she was. And who knows? She might actually answer and she wasn't. And then that's been put to bed. But we know that this power makes her tell the truth. So
I know, and I'm I'm now having doubts about telling you my last commandment because it could. I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah, well, let's with no further ado, furnish me with your final commandment for this one's wife.
10th commandment would be to find out who's the better lover, Andrew or Harry.
Again, because it's a magical power, if both of them are played behind the sausage with her, and we know Harry has, and the suspicion is that Uncle Andy has got a bit handy, and that he has been once knocked her hip out. So, yeah, let's just run with this idea, Trevor, because it's amused me. So she has to answer that truthfully. The power invested in you compels her to confirm which one of them is the better lover. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if she's only ever had Harry's sausage thrown down her canyon, then she's bound to say Harry, because then there's no choice. But if it's the two of them that she has engaged in a bit of horizontal refreshment with, which one do you think she'd choose?
Do you know what? Right now, I think she would still pick Harry.
Do you think so?
Only because the media have destroyed Andrew to such, and the media have made Andrew to be. The media have made Andrew to be a pedo.
But the power of your question is such that she's not answering it based on which is the more likable or which is the more acceptable answer. It's basically on orgasms per quota.
Andrew, then I think her answer would be Andrew. Yeah.
Andrew. I know it's not a particularly appealing prospect trying to conjure up the idea of Harry or Andrew engaging in making the beast with two backs with this one's wife.
Yeah.
But why would you say Andrew would be the one that would be likely to be the better lover?
Truthfully, because he's a real military man, not like Harry. He's a man. He's not like a little. He's not like a little shit. I mean, and
do you think Harry might be a two-pump dump?
I can't say the worst because it will destroy me. But Harry's too feminine. That's the right word to use. Harry's too feminine.
Yeah.
To be a real man, in my opinion. So I would go that Andrew's. I mean, let's be honest. Andrew can go for a long time because he has confessed that he doesn't sweat.
I was just going to mention that one advantage would be that the pasty ginger would be grinding away, and he might be sweating on her as he's trying to sort of bring her to fruition. Whereas Andy, he could just be, pummeling away without breaking sweat, because as you point out, he doesn't sweat. So that does give him a distinct advantage.
It does, doesn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
And Andrew's got more weight behind those hips, hasn't he?
He can certainly go through the 4 to 5 hip thrusts in 30 seconds flat. So
exactly. It's an awful sight, but
yeah, I should imagine that most of the viewers now are retching into chuck buckets besides their phones and monitors, etc. The image there. So
I'm gonna be sick if I'm honest.
well, I think we might have caused people to lose a couple of pounds because they're probably not going to want to eat for a couple of days after contemplating all of that. Well, there we are. Well, there we have Trevor Coult's 10 commandments for this one's wife. Valuable viewers, what do you think of those commandments once the nausea has abated? Do they accord with what you would want? Should Trevor have gone further? Has he managed to scratch your itch, or would you want more from him? You can let me and Trevor know in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you to Trevor Coult, MC, for his 10 commandments, and thank you for listening.